So we're back on working on the 77 911. I got the bumper out of the garage, set up on this table. I'm gonna go ahead and peel off all this tape and then just take those screws out, and hopefully the bumper stays where it is and doesn't crack or form kind of back where it was. After that, we're gonna go ahead and start doing some bondo filler, smooth out the edges, smooth out those contours, fill any cracks, and then sand this entire bumper down and then primer it just so it looks gray, so it's a little bit of a similar color, a lighter color to the car instead of being black. It's hard to see kind of what it looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and cut out this section as well. Like an oil cooler usually goes here. I'm not gonna be running an oil cooler, so I'm gonna probably put some kind of mesh, but I just need to figure out where exactly I want to cut that. Let's get to it. So as you can kind of get the idea, you can see the crack, there goes, it's filled. So the Bondo will actually have a place to go and it'll kind of fill that. The curve looks good. It's gonna be able to get smoothed out, as you can see as well, right there. There goes a nice little edge right there. We're gonna have to kind of break some of this down right there, but so far it looks good. Same thing here. There goes like that new edge right there, so we'll be able to use that, fill that. So I'm gonna go ahead and undo those and hope for the best. Well, bam, just like that. As you can see, shape is still being held exactly where we had it drilled. Fiberglass is keeping all this together. It has a nice shape. You see the shape that we need to make this bumper sit flush. I'm gonna have to fill all these holes up and fill all these little cracks, but I'm happy how it turned out. Kind of the first time I kind of messed with it, I was kind of getting nervous because I felt like maybe some of the prep right here had to be a little better. I saw people that kind of make these cracks, you know, into almost like grooves or kind of like valleys, and then they fill the valleys so it can kind of give it better strength. But I think this is definitely okay. We're gonna go ahead and be able to drill our 2 or 3 holes for the fender alignment, and then yeah, go from there. Now it's time for the tedious work. So it's a little bit later in the day. I decided to go ahead and try to do some of this prep work and apply some Bondo. As you can see, I took some 80 grit and started doing this side, and it's coming along. I did this side as well a little bit, just to kind of get the finish pretty dull so that the Bondo can stick well. I'm gonna go ahead and clean out all this little dust and crust in here, wipe it down with some acetone, and then go ahead and start applying the Bondo. This initial Bondo layer on there definitely kind of put a little bit too much hardener. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of sanding, so we'll see. I kind of just wanted to make sure it got in all the cracks and all the edges, so I'm gonna go ahead and wait like half hour and kind of start sanding it with the 80 and just kind of go from there. This stuff kind of sucks, but whatever, it is what it is. So after a little bit of sanding, as you can see, it's coming down a little flat. This spot, like I didn't even need to do. That was just like leftover Bondo. I kind of accidentally like smudged it in there. So I need to completely knock that down to the flush with the bumper, but this is looking super good. I'm glad to see it's coming along. A little bit up top here as well. So it's gonna take another layer. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of, you know, bog this part down, and then I'll throw my second layer on. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish that tomorrow and start the other side. So I got the car moved out of the garage, this little bumper stand set up. I'm gonna go ahead and continue sanding all this Bondo off, getting it really smooth. It's definitely gonna need another layer here. There's some low spots and some spots that are just chipping off. So I'm gonna go ahead and have to, you know, get this pretty good. There's just a thick spot right here. Let's get to it. So I went ahead and sanded most of this down. As you can see, got a little bit of a dip here. That's gonna have to get filled. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit here, kind of smooth this out. This is kind of where that line was, but it's coming along. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this, add another thin layer here up top as well, and then start on the other side. So far, I've learned that I suck at body work so far. This side actually went a little bit better, I'm not gonna lie. I only focused on the areas that needed bondo instead of like kind of smeared it all over the place, so I don't have to sand tons of extra stuff for no reason. I don't know if it's super cold out right now or what, but it's curing like crazy quick. Maybe it's cold out, so as soon as I start mixing it, I barely put any hardener and it starts kind of hardening on me, and it has less flow. So when it has less flow, it's harder to kind of move in where I want it to go, and it starts setting, so it's harder and it gets sticky and it just sucks. But I put it on nice and thick. I'm gonna go ahead and sand the original side I just did and then wait till this side hardens, and then I'm gonna go back and start sanding this side. So I started sanding this side a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and keep going. I'm running out of storage on my phone, so I gotta go ahead and do a little reset. So I'm gonna go ahead and just knock this down. It's pretty repetitive. I might add one more thin layer, let it cure, and then finish off the sanding after that. I'm gonna go ahead and hit this section with some primer. Went ahead and kind of grease removed it. There's a little high spot right there, but just to kind of see how she looks. So it's the next day here in Cleveland. Beautiful weather. We're gonna continue working on this bumper. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep sanding. I got the whole side. I'm gonna flip the camera, but I'll show you. I kind of primered it yesterday. So I got both sides primered. I can see that little dip right there. So that's gonna have to get resolved. This looks super smooth. This side right here looks super good as well. Oh wow, that came out actually a lot better than I thought. I thought this was gonna need some more work, but I like where this bumper's at compared to what it came from. I'm gonna go ahead and completely sand the entire thing. The main thing that I was worried about was the shape and that it can align with the fenders, and that's what we got. So if it needs more work, we can just do more work on the car. Back at the car, gonna go ahead and fit this front bumper. So hopefully this thing fits a lot better than the first time. It's not gonna be perfect first time around. I'll go ahead and do the rest of the bodywork later on. Anything that needs touched up, just those 4 mounting points right there, and then hopefully we'll figure out what we're gonna do under here. So first thoughts, bam, exactly what I expected. So I mean, this is kind of how these bumpers line up. I think big success.
Great success.
This bumper's sitting a little too far back, so that side looks good. Very nice. So same thing here, flushy goodness. It's hard to see, there's so many curves, but as you can see, that's beautiful. No more ½ inch to actually an inch. It was about an inch out, so boom. I have to touch some of this up as well down here, but I'm happy with this bumper. This is actually gonna be pretty simple down here, simpler than I thought. I actually could probably do it right now. I have a few extras, so I'm gonna go ahead and kind of put them on the bottom. I need a drill. I'm gonna try to borrow it from my homie next door. So I'm just gonna slide up under here. Old crusty dusty mounts. I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 wabam and wabam. Should be pretty straightforward. Before I finalize everything, I'm gonna definitely give this undercarriage a wash underneath. You can see everywhere, but we go ahead and put a couple here. So a little back and forth. I got a couple spots of the permanent marker. That last one right there is kind of where I'm going to end up drilling this side as well. There's that. I'm gonna go ahead and pull off the bumper. drill those holes and remock. Can't really record much because my phone is acting up. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill those holes, mount it up, and then we'll be back. Ooh, buddy. So got the sides mounted, got the front mounted. So it's looking good. Happy to see this front bumper finally on there, not going anywhere. So there's gonna be a little bit of adjustment. I can still move this side. As you can see, it needs to kind of go forward a little bit. That's because this side is sitting a little bit closer compared to this side. So I'm gonna probably put a spacer in here and then get a little bit longer hardware, and that'll bring this out. So that's perfect because I still need to fit a seal right there. So I'm happy how the front's coming out. It's coming along. Got to save this front bumper and not scrap it. So I'm moving on to the back. I'm just gonna kind of mock it up. Got some wheels in the box to help me mock this bumper up, but I mean, this thing is like almost spot on compared to the front. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep playing. I'm gonna basically need 3 of those clip kind of slide holders. These things right here, a little bit better than this trash. And then I'm gonna utilize this as well for the bottom. Quick little update, got this bad boy held. Look how money that fits. Sheesh, that thing looking good. So rear shouldn't be as bad. Looking forward to getting that thing mounted up, and then basically the body work is gonna be complete. So go ahead and call for the night. Come back strong tomorrow with some hardware, and yeah, get these bad boys mounted. Back at the vehicle, so got my hardware. Gonna go ahead and start mocking up the rear bumper, kind of exactly the placement I need. I'm gonna go ahead and unclamp it, kind of use these clips that I purchased, and then start marking the holes where I'm going to drill the new bumper. I'm also probably gonna trim the edges a little bit. But we'll see. First, I'm gonna go ahead and just make sure everything's gonna line up. Those fasteners are gonna work. Brainstorm a little bit, and get right to it. Little bit of an update. Got that plate on right there. That one that was crumbling and kind of smacked. I have the opposite side as well, but I'm gonna hold off until I have it back in the garage. I just wanted to get some nice clips while I had some light. Rear bumper is mounted. It's looking pretty good. There's that bracket. This one's pretty good on this side. Rear bumper is mounted. Yesterday I ended up putting in basically on each corner. This side right here could go in a tiny bit more, but it's pretty good. It's super close, so that's gonna do for now. This side is pretty much super flush. Looks good as well. There's that one mounting kind of bolt. I found these at Ace Hardware. They're super sweet. It makes it so much cleaner and easier, and actually holds this up really well. I also did a mounting spot on both bottoms of the bumper as well. So that came out really well. There's another mounting spot right back there. Can't really focus, but it's back there. I'm gonna put 2 more up there. I might trim this down a little bit, but for now I just wanted to clean up the car, get all those spider webs off, get off any dirt from these tail lights. I ended up pulling these lenses off, and these were completely stripped. I ended up drilling those out right there. So I just wanted to get some of this grime off and nasty dirt. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this even better later. Just wanted to get some like stuff that kept falling on my face off. Really close to be able to start body work completely on the car. All this crap. Can't wait to be able to sand this whole thing down, do a little bit of body work on where it's needed, and yeah, start prepping it for some paint. The gaps are surprisingly really well on this tail. A lot of people have trouble with that. Little issue I had with this brake light, but it's not a huge deal. I could either fix that, come up with my own, or run with something else. We'll see. Definitely gonna be on the market for some new wheels. These things are a little rough. Not much else. Interior is pretty crispy. So that's gonna be about it for this episode. I went ahead and got both bumpers mounted up. The mount on the car, I'm gonna go ahead and throw the other one on as well, but this is a good stopping point just to be able to think about what's next. Get some stuff on the list, make sure I got everything ordered, make sure I got fasteners where I need to instead of making runs back and forth to Ace. Happy how this came out. Definitely needed a little bit of work, but I mean, everything does when you're dealing with fiberglass parts. I'm gonna go ahead and see what's next on the list, Make sure you guys stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'm creeping up to 1,000 subscribers, so I need about 40 or so more. Be sure to stay tuned to see the S2000 videos and other 911 videos and 912 videos that I posted already. Appreciate all the support thus far. Be sure to drop a comment, leave a like. Stay tuned till next time. As always, guys, be blessed and be superish.